Thank you very much. Shalom, Toronto. It's wonderful to be with all of you. I want to thank Jerry Schwartz for those kind words, and thank the Honorable Peter Kent and the senators and members of Parliament who are here, the Deputy Minister. I met the Premier of Ontario in Israel a few days ago. He promised me a warm welcome here, and I see that he's lived up to it. All the members of the provincial legislation, the municipal leaders, our own Minister of Diaspora Affairs, Yuli Edelstein, who's here, with my delegation. I'm told it's been 32 years since an Israeli Prime Minister came to Toronto. That was Menachem Begin. "17 years ago, another Israeli Prime Minister came to Ottawa. That was Yitzhak Rabin. So I'm delighted to follow in their footsteps. I'm in Toronto today, and I'll be in Ottawa later today. And I'm delighted to be here in Canada with all of you. To the thousands of people inside and outside this arena, I want to say thank you. Thank you for what is surely one of the warmest receptions any Prime Minister of Israel has ever received. Now, I mean that literally. This is a warm day. And yesterday was a warm day too, and for some strange reason, the security detail enabled my wife and me to walk out and stroll in the streets of Toronto. It's a beautiful city. It was a beautiful day. Beautiful people. We met some of you. We met others. And you know, the sun was shining in the sky, and the sun was shining in your eyes, in your hearts. There is a friendship, an openness, a warmth that I have seldom seen. And I want to say that we treasure it, we welcome it. So it's wonderful to be in Canada. And our ties, the ties between Canada and Israel, have never been stronger. This comes from the people, and it also comes from the government. In our two democracies, the governments reflect what the people feel, what they value, what they cherish. So I want to thank and use this opportunity to especially thank Prime Minister Harper. Prime Minister Harper has been an unwavering friend of Israel. He has been a great champion of Israel's right to defend itself. And he stands against all the efforts to delegitimize the Jewish state. We deeply appreciate his support. I also want to thank the Canada-Israel Committee, a devoted group of people, Jews and non-Jews alike, who work tirelessly to strengthen the relations between Canada and Israel. Thank you all. I want to thank the Toronto Jewish community and the Toronto Jewish Federation. This community has a well-deserved reputation for its passion and commitment to Israel. Year after year, you march for Israel. Year after year, you march for the truth. Because one of the battles that we face is the battle for truth, repealing slanders and lies that are directed against us. And year after year, you do that. And by doing that, you show us that we are not alone. And though you're thousands of miles away, we know that you stand by our side. Now, some Canadians do even more than that. A few days ago actually, I went up to our Northern Command to watch a military exercise. And I met a young man. He literally popped out of the ground in a military exercise. His uniform was dusty. His face was covered with camouflage paint. And I said, "Soldier, what's your name?" And he said, with a marked foreign accent, he said, "My name is Jonathan Fader." I said, "Where are you from, Jonathan?" He said, "Canada." I said, "Really?" "Ah, where in Canada?" He said, "Vancouver." I said, "How long has it been since you've seen your family?" He said, "1.5 years." And I said, "Jonathan, you're one lucky soldier, because I'd like to take you on our plane so you have a chance to see your family." Well, Jonathan is with us today. He came to Israel. Stand up, Jonathan. Stand up so they see you. Jonathan came to Israel on a birthright program. He eventually made an aliyah as part of Nefesh B'Nefesh. I want to thank him for defending the one and only Jewish state. Thank you, Jonathan. My friends, I came here with one simple message. March with pride. March with clarity. Because you cannot be prouder and clearer about what you're marching against and what you're marching for. You march against those who hate freedom and celebrate death. And you march for those who cherish freedom and celebrate life. You march against those who oppose peace, who cannot even say the words, "We'll recognize the Jewish state." And you march for the Jewish people of Israel who have yearned for peace, prayed for peace, sacrificed for peace from day one, and we want peace today. You march against terrorists who target civilians, and you march for an army that targets terrorists. You marched against tyrannies that repress women, gays, minorities, who murder their own people. We saw that picture of that young girl lying in the sidewalk, choking on her own blood. You march against those tyrannies, and you march for Israel, whose Supreme Court, like Canada's, is led by a woman, which is the only true democracy, Israel, the only true democracy in the Middle East. Open, pluralistic, liberal. You marched against tyranny and you marched for democracy. You march, my friends, for the values and ideals that Canadians and Israelis hold dear.